I believe that somebody out there needs encouragement like never before. And if that is you, if that somebody is you, you've been crying out to God and somehow, some way, you feel that he's been ignoring you, this message is for you. This message is for the brokenhearted. This message is for the person who just doesn't feel like praying anymore. They're numb. They feel like they've been overwhelmed with life. They feel like they've been tired of being sick and tired. They feel like they've been doing all that they can do. They've been carrying the weight, whether it be family problems, whether it be work problems, whether it be just life problems, whether it be themselves, and they're sick and tired of life in general. This message is for you. I'm here to let you know that I understand what you're going through. I'm here to let you know that there is hope. I'm here to let you know that God has heard you. And I'm here to let you know that if you trust him and give it all to him, you have to lay all those heavy burdens at the foot of his cross. You have to lay those heavy burdens and give it all to him. You tried to glue it together. That didn't work. You tried to do this and that and tried to make it work in your own strength, and it failed. So why don't you just give it all to God? Why don't you just trust him? Why don't you just take all the challenges and all the worries and all the concerns and even all the fears and faith this thing through from now on? Why don't you just trust him? Why don't you just give it all to God? Don't you know that God already knows the future? Don't you know that God already knows the outcome? Don't you know that God is just waiting for you to trust him and give it all to him? Oh yeah, he can work it out better than you can imagine. Oh yeah, he can see it through more than you can. You know why? Because God is a God of order. God is a God that put things right in perspective, right on time. You've been searching. You've been trying to figure this thing out, but you just have to trust. You have to trust that God is big enough. You have to trust that God have your best interest at heart. And more importantly, you have to know that God is not going to lead you to a ditch of destruction. You have to trust that God loves you more than you think. You have to trust that God has all of the answers in that very circumstance. So you have to lay it down. You have to lay it down. You are carrying this thing. This thing is weighing you down. It's weighing over your mind. It's weighing over your heart. It's weighing even over your finances. Oh, yeah. You've turned this circumstance into a money pit. You are taking good money and putting it into a bad situation. And God is saying, wait a minute. This is why it's not working. Because you're not listening to my directions. You're not trusting me. You have to sit back. You have to trust. You've been too much of a busybody. You've been getting in your own way. You've been even trying to get in God's way. And God says, just lay it down. He's talking to you right now. Are you willing to lay it down so that you could get the breakthrough and the blessing that you've been crying for? Are you ready to trust God like never before? Are you ready to get set free? Are you ready to have that 10-ton weight lifted over your shoulders and lifted over your heart and mind? Are you ready to lay all the burdens at God's feet? See, God can take care of even that and even that problem that you've been dealing with for years. He is trying to transform your mind. He is trying to do spiritual surgery over your heart and body, but you are trying to do it yourself. You are trying to take on more than God asked you to. It's time to lay it down. It's time to trust God. It's time to give it all to him, for he cares for you. Blessed is your living God.